Okay, I just wanted to go back over percentage error again and have a look at the different sorts of questions. So I think I've got myself a little bit confused around this, and Miss Josie and I have we spent about an hour yesterday sorting this out. So here's our formula for percentage error. The approximate minus the exact over the exact. And so I'm going to have a look at that color coding in each of the examples that I work through. So the first example that I want to do is example 11.7. Now, what we're doing with this one is different to some of the other questions, and I'm going to go through the key difference. So when we're looking at this, the 2.5 centimeters, that is an approximate value. Okay, so the first thing we can do is work out an approximate area. Which would be 2.5 squared times pi, which is 6.25 pi. As for our exact value, well, the exact value we're going to get from the bounds. So the exact value for that could be between 2.45 and 2.55, which means that the bounds for the area, the lower bound would be 2.45 squared times pi, and the upper bound would be 2.55 squared times pi. Okay, so now applying our percentage error formula, what we have is an exact, which is either, that one or that one. Okay, these are our exact values versus this one, which is our approximate, and this one, which is our approximate. Okay, so I'll highlight that. So the percentage error could be, sorry, I've messed up my highlighting. Around the wrong way. Give me a second, I'll fix that. So there's our exact values, either one of those. There's our approximate. So we're doing approximate minus exact over exact, or approximate minus exact over exact. Okay, and so what we find is that this one is 4.12%, this one is 3.88%. Alright, so this one is the maximum percentage error. Alright, so in this case, we have a very clear approximate. The next issue that came up was this question here, and there actually isn't anything wrong with this question, it's just a little bit confusing in terms of the wording. So the key thing here that makes this different to the previous one is this phrasing here, in any stated length of AC within the range found in part A. That's the difference. So I'm not going to talk about part A at all, that's just finding bounds. Okay. What we're doing here is assuming that one bound is accurate, okay, or exact, and that the other bound is an estimate or the approximate. Okay, and that's what they've done here. They've said, all right, any value within that stated range, 11.441, let's assume that one's the approximate, and that this one is the accurate. Okay? So, if we look at question 23 from homework sheet 1, which one is this like? Okay, well this one is similar to example 11.7. Okay, only this time we know what the actual true value is, okay, because we're given that in the question. We then find the bounds, and then what we're doing when we calculate the percentage error in this one is we're saying, okay, that's the true value. What we could actually get recorded could range between 291.3 and 294.9. Okay, so it is slightly different, but similar in that we're not comparing bounds. We have an actual true value here. In example 11.7, we didn't know the true value, but we knew the approximate value. So that's the difference between those two questions. This one here comes from homework sheet 2. Alright, so we go through, we find the bounds, the approximate length for that side there, and then it's got that phrasing, any stated length of x within the range found in A. That was not present in this example, which is why we did this one differently. So down here, when we look at what we're doing, we have to take the bounds as being the approximate, and then the other bound is the exact. So if the approximate value is the upper bound, and the lower bound would be the exact. If the approximate is the lower bound, and the upper bound would be the exact. So this one is just like question 33 because of that phrasing, in any stated length of AC within the range found in A. So, in terms of, do I need to correct these homework sheets? No, I don't. That one's correct. That is correct. Alright, the purpose of this video is to go back over the language and just to reteach these concepts because I don't think I had them clear. Question 3, this comes from homework sheet 3. Alright, and again, we have that phrasing, any stated volume within the range in A. So we take one bound as the approximate, the other bound as the exact. If we take the lower bound as the approximate, the upper bound is the exact. If we take the upper bound as the approximate, the lower bound is the exact. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with that one. This one is homework sheet 4. Okay, so we go through, we found bounds, they're okay. What is the maximum percentage error in the shaded area? Well, this one I have got wrong. So, if we go through and we look at this, these values are what the exact could be. I haven't actually worked out the approximate value here. The approximate value okay, is going to be using these measurements. Okay, so it's using the measurements. That would be 6.4 times 17 minus 3.2 times 8.5. 81.6. Alright, so when I do these maximum percentage error calculations, then what I actually need to do is the approximate 81.6 minus the exact, and I need to do the same for the other bound, treating the other bound as the exact. Because what do those bounds mean? Those bounds mean what are the values between which the actual area lies. Okay, so this one I got wrong, and I will correct that and re-upload this solution. Final thing, the exam question. What type of question is this one? Well, it's like the first one, example 11.7. Okay, I have redone the solutions and I will resend those out. Okay, but basically, I'm not going to go through these solutions to A and B, but we end up with this situation. Okay, these are the true or exact, possible exact values. The approximate comes from here. Which is 30 ohms. So therefore, to do the maximum possible percentage error, we are looking at approximate minus exact over exact, or approximate minus exact over exact. My apologies for the confusion around this topic. Hopefully this has cleared it up. Let me know if you need any further clarification.